Hey, this is Crafty here. Do you ever hear those words verse, chorus? Like, you kind of know what they mean, right? Except, do you really know? We're going to get right into it right now. So we're about to get into this song structure, song form talk, but before we do, if you haven't checked out the difference between songwriting, arranging, and structure video, it's a good overview on songs in general. Check out that video first and then watch this one. Alright, song structure is one of the most favourite subjects of mine. It actually is. Why would it be my favourite? Well, it makes me be able to learn songs just so easily and retain the song information. Like, however you connect to a song, you listen to a song and you kind of have the hooks or the guitar or the drums, the singing, whatever, like you really connect with it. It stays inside you. Well, for me, I hear songs and I see them as blueprints. I see them as just, you've got your intro or you've got your verse or a double chorus or whatever, and I see the order of them in my head. That's how I connect with songs. That's how I remember them. That's how, after years of playing a song, I will be able to retain that type of information, and then it just makes being able to play a song so much easier for me, being able to see it as a whole big picture, knowing what the order is. Okay, so a quick side note, have a look at these sheets of mine. They're just scribbles, right? But this is how I learn songs. I jot down what the song structure is. So I'm just going to hop on my computer. We're going to take a look at some words and we're just going to make sense of all this. Okay, here, so song structure, also known as song form, and making sure that you know all of the words that go with the word structure will make you learning songs so much easier. All right, so I've taken the liberty of preparing these particular words here. And so we're going to go through 3 different columns here. This is the first one, the song structure elements. So as you can see there, we've got intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, solo, and outro. We'll talk about what they are in a minute. But here, it's important just to note that we've also got 2 main elements, music being one, and the other being lyrics, or words. So, intro is short for the word introduction, kind of self-explanatory, but what actually makes an intro? Well, just to be really quick, I'm just going to chuck an X right here, because generally speaking, in an intro, you don't have any singing. Now, here is a really important thing before anyone wants to write a comment and say, what the hell are you talking about? Of course there's singing in some intros. Well, here's my disclaimer. So everything I'm going to be talking about in this video is of a general nature. There is exceptions to every rule, and that's the beauty of songs and about art, is that none of which I'm talking about needs to necessarily apply to any particular song, but I'm just giving you a general overview, all right? So it's general. So yeah, generally speaking, we don't have any lyrics in an intro. What type of music characteristics do we have? So I'm going to try and use the least amount of words here as I can in these columns. So an intro might just be one instrument, could also be another section of the song with no vocals. Yeah, so it could just be one instrument and then, it kind of builds up. But this section without the singing, for instance, it could be the exact same music as a verse, except there's no singing yet. Or it could be a chorus that doesn't have any singing. There's a bunch of things it could be. Or it could be its own section as well, something that doesn't appear elsewhere in the song. Let's now look at a verse. What's a verse? Well, I use a lot of S words. And sadly, for you cussers out there, I don't mean swearing. So verse, the S word that I'm just going to use is softer. And I'll come back to what it's softer than in a sec. The S word in the lyrics column is this word, story. What would make something a story? Well, I'm just going to say that it's basically just lots of words. So what's the S word for chorus in the lyrics column? I call it a summary, just because there's not many words. Now, I'm not going to write this in, but another thing that can happen is in the chorus, you might have the singer sing the song title. Okay, we'll go back to the music column here. So what would the verse be softer than? Yes, the chorus. So if it's softer than the chorus, well then, that's right, the chorus would have to be louder than the verse. Now, I have said it before, it says it up in red up the top. This is just general. Of course you can have a chorus that's not louder than the verse, and a verse that's louder than the chorus. The song Unforgiven by Metallica is one of those good examples. But yeah, generally speaking, your chorus is loud and your verse needs to be kind of quiet. Generally speaking, why does it need to be quiet? Well, if you don't make your verse softer, well then the story element of the lyrics kind of get lost. Think about it. There's lots of words. And if you have lots of words, if you have all of this like super awesome loud kind of music, well then it's kind of going to get in the way. It's going to clash. The story is not really clear enough. Whereas if the music's not really loud in the chorus, well then, like, you know, generally speaking, you don't have that many words. So they won't have as much impact if the music's not as loud to help give it that impact. All right, let's use another color now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick arrow here because it's kind of exactly the same thing for the music and the lyrics. It's a build-up. So what does that mean? Well, it means that if you compare, say, a verse that's softer to a chorus which is louder, well, it kind of needs to be this bit in between, and that is a pre-chorus. A pre-chorus, it's kind of like the bridge in between the verse and the chorus, the thing that's kind of connecting them. Now, a lot of people, usually an older generation of musician, will call a pre-chorus a bridge. I think of a bridge as something else. This is what I consider what a bridge is. Yeah, I consider it a new bit. And there's a lot of people that do call a bridge this. It's where it's something completely new. Now, sometimes people get a bit confused about what a bridge is because they hear a verse later in the song that doesn't have drums, or they might have changed the melody, or there's no guitar, it's only bass and drums or something like that. So they think, oh, well, that's a new section. Well, yeah, I would consider that a verse that's just been arranged in a different way. Okay, we're getting through this list. What is a solo? A solo is basically where you have one instrument that is louder and more prominent than other instruments. Yeah, solo is kind of like an instrument's chance to sing. It's the chance to feature like what a singer would in a song that has singing. So similar to an intro, you generally don't have singing in a solo. But if you listen to jazz, then you'll hear singing solos. Skidoo-ba-doo-da-doo-ah. We're nearly done here. An outro is just kind of like the ending of a song. Now, there's a lot of ways that an outro can happen. It could be just say the last line that's being sung just gets repeated. It could be a whole new section. It could be the band kind of doing sort of similar to some intros, but just the opposite, which means that they're kind of just taking stuff away, kind of making it a bit softer, a little bit slower, bringing the song to its end. Yes, I'm just going to write here in the lyrics column that the singing could be that it's just repeating, say, the last line. Before I go, check out a bunch of these songs right now. Go have a listen to them right now. Here is how I consider their song form, the order of their structure elements in their song. So go check them out, see if I am right. And if you like, what you can do is have a listen to some songs yourself, try and analyze them yourself. And And if you have any song structure questions yourself, maybe you're analyzing a song and you're not really sure if it's a verse or a pre-chorus or something like that, well, go to the Crafty Music Tips Facebook group and then ask either myself or a bunch of other people in the group there, and you can get a bit of a discussion going about it. So there you have it. We have a bunch of different explanations here. And like I said, I'm being general. But what did you think of that? What did you learn? Let me know in the comments below. Was it helpful? So yeah, if there's any other song form elements, song structure elements that you can think of that I've missed, like I said, well, I'm being general, go easy on me. But if there's any other elements that you can think of, then let me know in the comments below, and other people will be able to learn from that too. Like I said, I love talking about song structure. It really helps me knowing all of this information, because then I can listen to a song, and if I have little to no preparation time whatsoever, if I feel like that if I know the song structure, the song form, the order of what's going to happen, that I'll be able to get by so much easier. So yeah, my name's Crafty. I hope this has been helpful. I'll see you in another video really soon.